So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why recording gear is pointless. We've come into this culture of gear porn, basically, gear lust. We just search out all this recording equipment, plugins, VSTs, everything we can to try to make the best music we can. We always feel like, or I always felt like if I had this, or maybe I'm missing this, we always feel like we're missing something. We never have enough. And I'm in a place now where I've got everything I need. I've always had everything I need. I'm going to show a picture. I've got my Telecaster sitting back there. I've got a Nord keyboard here. It's got 6 piano sounds, maybe 7 with the organ, which I never use. And then I have my P-Bass behind me. And for years, that was all I used to write music. And I played in bands for a long time, and we would jam it out, and we would always start music first and then add lyrics later. And really, all of the plugins, all of the gear, I spent over $20,000 on microphone preamps and microphones and all this stuff to get the best recordings I can. And now I'm in a room by myself writing music using these instruments, but also I spend a lot of time going through all of my virtual instruments, Serum, going for presets, and really all of this is a huge distraction from just making what's important, doing what's important, which is putting pen to paper, writing lyrics, writing a song. I went to recording school in Nashville. I went to the Blackbird Academy. I interned under Ryan Hewitt. I worked on sessions where I was around really huge bands that were making a living just pursuing a sound, just trying to find how they made the music they did. And all of that led me to sell my outboard gear. It led me to just say, okay, plugins are good enough. Basically, my message is you're not missing out. Really, you can make a great recording or you can write good music with this. This is how I'm recording music or ideas. And I've done this just because I want to turn my brain off. I don't want to be hunting for the Serum preset or going through all the virtual pianos and everything I have. The most important thing is the lyrics and the melody in the song. The rest of it is just about how you dress it up. All of this stuff, all the Pro Tools and all that, or Logic or Cubase or Ableton Live, whatever you use, those things all have their purpose and everything, but the most important thing is the song. And without that, none of this shit matters. Like, none of this is like, Pro Tools is not going to write a song for you. Ableton is not going to write a song for you. Like, they've got loops and stuff, but all of that is just, it's the clothes that we dress the music up in. I've been using this when I have a lyrical idea. I'll just speak it into my phone. And I've gotten to the place where I'll even use the key I'm putting it in. Half the time I'm not even really singing it, but I'll find what key I'm speaking it in, and then I'll start writing around that. So I've been experimenting just with simple recording. I'll write lyrics into my phone. I'll write them down. I'll import those into Pro Tools. I'll cherry pick the best of them, and I'll pick up my guitar, or I'll come and play it on piano and find the key it's in, and then I start making parts for it. And it's what's interesting, though, is lyrics and melody come first, or the idea comes first. At the least, I have lyrics, and then I find how I want to sing it. That's the most important thing, is coming up with the actual song. Can you sit down? Can you write out your lyrics, come up with an idea, write a melody, and then grab a guitar, grab whatever instrument you play, even if it's just basic chords, that's all you need, and start fleshing out that idea. For me, I'm trying to make it where before I even hit record in Pro Tools, or before I really start programming drums and doing all this stuff and finding cool synth sounds or whatever, I try to lay out the song. I spend a lot of time just laying out the song and getting to a place where I can play it from beginning to end on an instrument, guitar or bass or whatever. If you can't do that, then I don't really feel like you have a song. Back when I was in bands, what we would do is we'd write a song, we'd write everything, and we would know it. I was the bass player in the bands, and I would know every bass fill I was going to do. The drummer knew his drum fill, and then we'd pay somebody. We'd go to a studio that was $50 or $60 an hour, and we'd go record it as quickly as we could using the instruments that we play all the time. We didn't fart around with all sorts of virtual instruments or anything. Time was money. But so we had to get really good. We had to flesh out our ideas, and then we would record. And I do record stuff, like for one of the songs I've been writing, I record the guitar and I have a basic layout. I've been structuring the song, and then I'm adding the ear candy stuff and trying to get like cool lead parts and things that I enjoy listening to. But the most important thing is actually having like at least a chorus and a melody for that chorus and your chords. And then how you dress it up doesn't really matter. If you're just focusing on plugins, EQs, what keyboard to use, to me, narrow it all down, simplify everything you're doing, and just get the song idea down, because none of this shit matters if your song sucks. None of it matters if it's not a good song. But I'm not saying don't, you have to write crappy songs. And to me, you might as well do it quickly, because if you spend all this time on a song, which, you know, that was kind of what we did in the bands back in the day, where we would write 10 songs and then we'd go record them. And some of them were good, some of them weren't. Sometimes when I was in an awesome band, it was great. Like everything we did, I loved. But that doesn't mean that it's going to translate well. You've got to write a lot of crappy songs in order to make a couple of good ones. It's that 80-20 rule, where if you write 10 songs, 8 of them aren't going to be that great. Maybe they're mediocre, but 2 of them will be awesome. So to me, it's about simplifying what I'm doing down here, what I'm doing with my process and all that stuff. And for me, it's finding out what's important, which, you know, I've been programming drums and doing all that stuff. I occasionally still do that, but I'd rather play with a real drummer. I'd rather have something that actually feels like a human being and not a robot. But I'm a musician, I'm a band musician, a rock musician. That's what I've done for a long time. So those things don't feel natural when it's just slapped to the grid. But the bottom line of this video is, don't focus on your recording gear. Don't focus on preamps. Don't focus on microphones. Don't focus on plugins, because the internet, YouTube, all this stuff, I'm guilty of it as well. It's all here to market you stuff to buy. That's what, I live in the United States. That's what our country is founded on. That's what we're on. We're founded on is sell, consume. And for me, I'm sick of it. You know, like I'm sick of watching videos and just, it's nothing but advertisement for affiliate links, or watching gear porn videos where it literally sounds like people are looking at gear like my Apollo that's sitting here. You know, we're looking at that. Ooh, you've got an Apollo. Oh man. And we never even hear what they're making with it, because the Apollo in and of itself, it doesn't flippin' matter if you're not making cool music. So, I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, if we're just showing you gear and it's like leaving it to your imagination, it can do anything, you know, but gear isn't the solution. Like expensive stuff, I sold all my expensive gear except for the Apollo. You know, I've got, I mean, I have some good gear in here. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying gear isn't cool, but none of that is going to write a song for you. None of that is going to make a good song. And the only way to get good at making music is to make a lot of music, and to do it quickly, to do it in that moment of inspiration. So even if it means picking this thing up and recording, I mean, most of the time I sit with my morning coffee and I try to, if I get something where I have inspiration or I have a lyrical idea, I just speak it or sing it into the phone. And then from there, I'm trying to write the music as I go. I know at this point I'm good enough where I can make a pop song, I can make a rock song, I can do whatever I want. I have every tool I will ever need. I don't need to buy anything else, but just be focused on the music, on the song, and put out as much music as you can. Do it quickly. Don't get in the weeds. For me, all I truly need to write a song is that guitar behind me, or this piano, and then the bass. Like those 3 elements, I can make a great song just with these 3 things. Simplify what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to do. So that's the point of this video. It's just basically to say you don't need to stop buying stuff. If you're watching this video, you probably already have a DAW, you already have an audio interface, and you probably have a microphone. And then if you play instruments, or even if you're just playing keys or programming keys, that's all you need. Get your ideas down, do it quickly. Don't worry about the clothes your song is going to wear or how you're dressing it. I've gotten to see a lot of mixes from people. Most people that I hear what they're doing with recording is good enough. Most people are competent to the point where it's like, do I want to make a mix course and try to sell, hey, this is how you mix music and things like that? Or even recording, this is how you record and can come up with great recordings at home. Yeah, I'd love to do that. But guess what? There's a million people doing that already. And all the information you have is on YouTube. So the point is you probably know enough, get out there and start making music. Record simply, do it quickly, dress it up however you want, but write as much music as you can and keep throwing songs at the wall, and eventually maybe something will stick.